Good morning and welcome to anyone joining me this morning for this latest Lenten art meditation drawing on the wisdom of the wonderful Sister Wendy Beckett, with one or two extra thoughts and reflections from me, and a particular welcome to you if you're joining me for the first time. If this is your first time, just to say that this meditation should last no more than 10 minutes. And I am drawing the artwork primarily from Sister Wendy's wonderful book, The Art of Lent, which I do encourage you to acquire, to get hold of, not least because often the images which I reflect on are so brilliantly presented in her book rather than the versions which I am able to share online. This week's theme is peace. And today's image is a justly famous one. The theme for today is finding a balance, and we reflect on composition in red, yellow and blue, painted in 1930 by Piet Mondrian. Perhaps one of the defining works in abstract art. And those of you who joined me on Thursday of last week would have enjoyed witnessing Mondrian's work in progress, as it were, as we reflected on one of his earlier works. But this absolutely represents his mature achievement, a work which perhaps at first glance might not impress us, and yet the more time we spend with it, the more it intrigues, and the more we realise that the decisions which Mondrian makes, not least about the positioning of colour, the size of the geometric shapes, is quite extraordinary. Sister Wendy writes this: true peace, dependent on nothing external and hence wholly steadfast, comes from an inner balance between desire and potential. As long as we hunger for what we cannot have and battle hopelessly against what must always defeat us, we are not at peace. In case this sounds discouraging, the point is that it is not so much that we cannot have all we desire and more, but that we have to align our desires in the truth. Our spirit is too great for small and specific happinesses. Our potential is infinite. We do live in a time where desire is so often constructed through buying things, through acquiring things, arguably through commodifying our own bodies in such a way as our desire is framed through a commercial lens. Mondrian's work reminds us that balance can be found. The composition is titled Composition in Red, Yellow and Blue, and yet, of course, one immediately notices the significance of the white and the black in this composition, not recognised as colours as such, and yet utterly necessary for the dynamic resonances in this painting. Desire and peace. I find in this painting a dynamic energy between desire and peace. There is something so well framed and soothing, actually, about the way in which each element is held in perfect tension, But if we think of this as a genuinely energetic piece of work, in other words, a desiring piece of work, a work which strains against resolution, what we find is that the energy is perfectly held. Without those sections of this painting which are in a sense not part of the painting, the black and the white, we would lose our way. We would lose dynamic shape and definition. But this is not a painting about black and white, but about how primary colours can be resolved into clear and clarifying moments. How the wild mess of our lives, which blends those colours so dynamically and definitively, can be brought into a clear foregrounding. Sister Wendy writes this: "The secret of peace is determining where this infinitude is, and here is where the need for balance becomes paramount. In this painting, Mondrian has used only 3 colours and a few black lines, and from their balance created a painting of the most subtle passion. Move a line or modify a rectangle, and the balance is lost, and the painting becomes dull." Thank you for joining me once again for this very short Lenten meditation. I do hope you are able to join me once again tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for our next painting. And should you wish to rehearse the meditations thus far, they are all available on this YouTube channel. Until we gather again, may you have a happy, holy and blessed day.